let's go. 547 solved out of something like 1,000, like 900 something was my not too scientific count. Still messing around in the spiral, which is fine. There continues to be more things to do. I want to finish the spiral today, I think is my plan. I want to adorn this window. So we'll see how deep we get in to all of this and whether or not we end up going back for other stuff. A side jam of the Scream Jam. Oh. Normally you help hosting. This time around you get to enter since there are no prizes. Ah, okay. Oh, so it's for funsies. That's good. For funsies, game jam sounds like a good time. All right, let's start off with a 2 here and see if we can remember how this stuff works. Okay. So this at minimum is a 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This at minimum is a 6. So minimum 7, so minimum 8. And this needs 4. And this needs 3. And for this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, let's say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. There we go. There we go. Okay, all right. I see the vision. Oh, these are some symbols. Can't help but notice that these are some symbols. Okay, great. All right, this has exactly 1 to the right, so it can't be part of that. Can it be part of this? I guess if it's no. So exactly 1 to the right means at least 3 of the 4 need to be these. And it can't be part of that. And for it to take any more, it has to be above here. So it can't take this one either. Okay, okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay, okay, all right. This is fascinating. This 2 that can't go left and can only go up 1. So it's going to have to take another one of its 2. Right. But then the same thing happens. Oh, they're just like that. They can't go left there or right there, but this is... Okay, yeah, that just has to be like that. That's fine. That's A-okay. For this, now, given that this is sealed off in this way, to have 3 below, it needs these 3. Unless it goes all the way around and takes these 3, but that seems very unlikely. I guess not impossible, but unlikely. This now needs 3 below it, which is going to have to be exactly these 3. These could be joined. They don't have to, but they could be. No, they can't. Because the 2 and the 1. Like this, the 1 and the 2 means these 2 can't join up. Here, the 2 and the 1 means these 2 can't join up either. So this here means this and this have the same area as this. The most this could have is 5. And at this point, it can't be the 1. So this has to connect. This has to take its 5th one here. And this is a 5. This is a 4. This is a 4. This is a 5. And then there's a bunch of other stuff going on that we haven't figured out yet. This cannot go up, so it has to go left exactly. So this is a 2 now. And this can't go up, so this is separate here, whatever this is. I mean, this could also be a 2, but it would have to be a different 2. Let's see, what else are we doing here? If this goes all the way up to here, right, doesn't touch any of these. What about this? What's going on here? Does this take this? Does it take this? This needs 2 below. This being 1 and 1 means it must be exactly that. So that's a 3. For 2 down here, one of them has to be this 1. So it has to be exactly that, I think. So we have these also as 3s. So a 3 here as well. So this 2 has to be that. So this 3 has to be that. So the 5 goes to here. The 4 goes to there. That's a 5. So now we have a 4 here, a 4 here, and a 4 here. This is either a 1 or a 2. This is either a 1, 2, or 3. This is either a 1 or a 2. Once we get that figured out. So this being a 3 can't grab this because this is a 3 on its own. Right? 2 above and then 1 to the right. Could also be like that and that. But that's more than 3 still. So this 3 has to go here, which means that's that. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking decently set up. And now we have to deal with these. This is a 4, which can be this, right? It could be a 4 like that. Or like that. No, if it's like that, then it can't. That doesn't work. This could also be a 4 like that. No. So this 4 has to include this, because not including this means this doesn't get resolved. So the 4 has to go there, which means this has room for exactly 2 more spots, so it has to be that and that. This being a 4, these 4s here, I think the easiest way to manage that is like this. Now we got to figure out what's going on. That's not going to fly, so that has to be where this is getting its thing. So now what? Either this is a 2, which makes this a 2, which doesn't work. So this is 1 and 1. So this is a 1. So this is a 2, and this is a 1. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Man, I love puzzle games. It's like just the flow of the puzzle once you start getting going is so... it's so satisfying. That sweet dopamine hit. Sugar in one hand, computer mouse in the other. It's a good life. Alright. I don't think I'm ready for a 6 yet, but there was a 4 over here. Maybe we'll play with that for now. Oh god! And it's loopy! Why is it loopy? Alright. It's all like this. And then there was exactly 1 more, so this has to be all the yellows in the corners here. Why is it loopy? Everyday loopy. This is yellow also. None of these can be... Oh, this might be able to be green, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope. Can't be green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it still has to connect to it. Which it could come from the sides. Okay, so it's not impossible for this to be green. But all of these are definitely yellow. which means this is green and this is green. And given that both of these are yellow, it can't be yellow all the way across at the bottom. It can be yellow all the way across here. This has to be green, actually. Because there's no way for yellow to get 9. Which means this has to be yellow all the way across here. Because the green is fully resolved off of this, just off of these 7 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. So just like that, this is already fully resolved. Oh, this one is cool, actually. I really like how this came together. Is coming together, I suppose. All right, so this needs 5 to the right, which is all of these. Which means this has to connect to the green out this way. Also, this needs to be green. Be a better green, thank you. This has to come down to here. And this now needs all 4 at the bottom, so like that. And this still needs 3, which is all of these. Disaster. Oh, that's one of them. Be a better green, thank you. All right, yeah, sure. Not bad, not bad. Legitimate. Is that a light? That is a light. Sneaky boy. All right, sneaky boy. Let's see what you're up to. Loopy and bricky. I believe this is all of the requirements for the outside edges as a result of Loopy. I believe. I think that's right. Because, like, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. But these corners... Oh. Cannot be separated into 4. And also cannot be separated into 3. So every corner... Okay, so it does need to go all the way around the outside edge. Everything needs to be connected here. And then the same has to happen up here, doesn't it? Which is interesting. And these cannot connect. This cannot connect here. This can't connect here. This can't connect here. Or here. Or here. This can connect here. Ah! Rude. 6. Nope. Whatever this is, it's connecting to these two. Whether it's connecting up here, I don't know. Can connect to this 4. In fact, must connect to this 4. Okay. It's a deal. If we look at this, cannot connect to this anymore now. And this can't go left. So... has to do that. Does that work? This is weird, this 3. This 3 is weird. All of these things are weird. Is this legal? Sure. In fact, anything else would be illegal? Sure. Like, this can't be a separate thing from these two. Oh, but it could do this. If this is a thing. But that doesn't work either. cannot be a point where exactly 3 borders meet. So any point is either 2 borders or no borders. I don't know if this technically counts as 1 borders. Loopy and Bricky. Loopy and Bricky. Six, huh? So this has to be yet another separate thing, doesn't it? Or 1 border. I mean, I guess. This is so weird. This is somehow okay? This is not okay. But this can't be part of blue or part of pink. So it's got to be some secret third thing. Oh, which means it has to be fully enclosed. That's what Loopy Bricky means. Whatever it is, it has to be fully enclosed. So like that. Except then how does this work? How does this get its 3? Because it can't be part of pink. Because there's too much pink. You know? You think you get it? Man, I don't get it. I don't get nothing. I get actual 0 of this. If this wasn't part of this, then it would work. Maybe that means that these two have to be a separate thing? I don't know how to make that work, though. Oh, yeah, no, if you look at this 5, this absolutely has to be... Okay, yeah, so this is, I think, a thing. So now I have to figure out how to make the rest of this work down here. Maybe they... It's weird, because I don't think they can touch each other like this. I don't think that works. Unless there's some other trick to it. But then what do we do with this if this is fully enclosed separately? This can't connect here. But this can potentially take... Alright, this looks like it is working here. This is going to need to be another separate fully enclosed thing. And then this is going to need to grab what? This is going to need to be a part of this. And is going to need to extend down here. Oh, it's going to need these 4. Like that. I don't know if it needs this 7, though. Maybe it does? That's 6, now that's 7? And then this 6 is its own thing? Is that 6? That looks like 6. Alright. Good, came together. Heck yeah. That's what you get for hiding from me. Oh boy. Well, I see a 1. I know how to deal with that. Now this 1 and this 2 can actually touch. Interesting. The 4 here, also interesting. This 4 as well. Where to from here? There's nothing saying that this can't just be a thing on its own. It doesn't need to extend out to here. 1 and 3. 3 left somehow. This 3 to the right is interesting, because it could be something like that and still be 3 to the right. I mean, it won't be because of this business, but it doesn't need to be 3 directly off of this like that, right? It could be anywhere. Let's see. These 2 can't touch, so we have that at least. This definitely needs to take this. Likewise, this definitely needs to take this, regardless of whether it touches the 1 or not. Because it cannot be, the 2 down cannot be satisfied by just this square. And this 2 down, this 2 left, cannot be both of these, so it definitely needs to be part of the 1, which means that is already fully resolved. And it can't take this 3 either. That has to be a separate thing. This 2 can take at most one of these. Unclear exactly what it's going to do, though. This and this need to be separate regions. There needs to be another region in here. Huh. What is my next step? Like, this is a good first step, but now there needs to be a next step. I feel like the next step, not super obvious. Maybe I should be able to, like, determine more from the watchtowers? I don't know. This needs 2 left, which could be the 1. This needs 2 up, which, again, could be the 1. Or it could just be 2 up. It's actually fine in this location. Needs 2 left. Where else could this get 2 left? It could be this. Right? This could be like up like that. And now this is satisfied and the 2 here is satisfied. There's a lot of options is what I'm saying. Really a lot of options here, actually. What about this? Where is this getting its 3? Can't touch this one down at the bottom. I don't know that matters too much. This gets exactly 1 more, either left or up. So then this is a different thing from this and either goes right or down. Which means this can't touch it. So this, whatever this is, whether this connects to this or not, has to go at least out to, like, here. Although it could go like up and around or something. This could be doing something weirder. But I think it has to do exactly this. Because going up through the 3 isn't going to work, and connecting to this also isn't going to work. Well, might work. Connecting up to here. Then goes like 1, 2, 3. Like that could also work? There's a lot of things that could work in this. Oh, I hate it. This and this can't connect. This and this can't connect. This can't connect to this. And this stuff is all sealed off. So this and this have to be the same. Can I get you to be the same? Yeah, there we go. These two have to be part of the same region. So this is getting 2 of its 3 here. So where is it getting the 3rd? Oh my gosh. Okay, so this has to be doing something weirder than just coming across here. So I guess this has to actually go up and connect to the 3. So weird. So that looks something like this? Oh. No, it's even weirder as it turns out. What about that? That can work, I think. No, because then this... Something is very weird here. Why can't you just go down like that? Too many. I guess we could... Nope. Nope. Yeah, so this still doesn't work. This is so messy here. It's so messy. Yeah, this gets exactly one of these two. Whatever this is gets the other one of these two. And I think needs to connect to this. Oh, this can come up. Then this can grab this, like that. So then this can be like that, for example. Or like that, depending on this. But something like that here. And then this needs 1 to the left. This needs 3 to the left. And there's still some other shenanigans happening. This is interesting, because this can work for the left, but then it needs to go right 1, and it can't be either of these two. So it would need to be here, which doesn't work for this. So I think it actually doesn't work. I think it can't. And it can't get both of these. So if it can't get this, then it has to get this, which means this is its own thing. This is still tricky. This needs to get 1 to the right somewhere. Only one, though, which is tricky. This 3 is tricky. Let's see. This could grab like this. And now it has its 2. But I think that doesn't work. I think we might need to have this be a 3rd thing so that this can go down like that. Where is this 3 getting its 3? And then this 3 needs to have one more region here, so it can't be fully bricked. What's up, Sainiku? It's going well. This puzzle is a little esoteric here. I'm not quite fully getting what it's, not quite fully picking up what it's putting down, but you know. Yeah, what's up, Mark Mages? Thank you for the party hat. I am collecting them. I think I have 4 party hats now. Maybe I should put up a party hat counter to indicate to the world how many party hats I have collected. I might also be misremembering my count. This bit I'm happy with, but it needs more. It needs more. And it can't take both of these in this situation. So it's got to go down from here. But it could do like this, maybe? Do I like that? And then this has to go... no. Now this has to go right, and this still has to go left, so I don't like that. So the most this can get is... like, there needs to be at least 2 down here. So this needs to grab that. So how does this get its 1 below? Maybe it comes down through here? That's not going to work here, though. How is this going to get its 1? It feels like maybe it needs to do that. But then this is in trouble. Yeah, I don't know where this is getting its 1. Because now this needs a 1. And this needs a 1. So that doesn't work. Because one of these 2 needs to belong to the blue somehow. Oh yeah, it's my affiliate anniversary there. I've been at this for some number of years. Practically a Gronyard at this point. I gotta come out with a full white beard and tell people, back in my day! Yeah, I had a button in the chat, and then I popped out the chat, and I lost the button. So I can't tell people about my affiliate anniversary. Affiliversary? Affiliate-versary? How are we shortening this? Affiliate anniversary is just way too many syllables. Maybe there's a problem here. Maybe the problem is this too. Maybe this needs to do something like that. I don't know how that's any better, though. How many years now? I'm not actually sure. I think it's 9. It's not 10, because my first stream was in 2016. I don't remember when the affiliate program rolled out. It might be 8, actually. It's possible that it's 8 years. But it's something like that. Because when the affiliate program rolled out, I wasn't a part of it. It took a while before it started catching up to people of my particular circumstances. Maybe I did something else wrong? Maybe something else isn't put together correctly? The rest of this mostly feels right, but I don't know how to put this part together now that this situation is here. Who here has a first button and hasn't stopped subbing? I think it's actually Senna, who is at like 100 and something months. Been assuming that I was on Twitch longer, but not actually sure. So there's definitely the difference between like on Twitch as a viewer and on Twitch as a streamer. I believe I started streaming in December of 2016, December or January of like that particular era. I think as a viewer, I came somewhat late to Twitch. Like, I was definitely not a viewer during the Justin TV days. I don't know if that means I'm late to Twitch or not. Why can't I put this together? Why doesn't this work? There must be something else going on here that I'm missing. Maybe this can use this to grab its one to the left. And then this grabs one here. So we do that. And this goes there. So where is this getting its third? If it's not here? No. 2.8 thousand hours. Good heavens. Those are some numbers. Wow. Cool. I don't even know how to interpret that. That's per person, right? Like each individual person adds up to the number of hours. So if I'm streaming for an hour and have 10 viewers for the entire time, that's 10 hours of view, right? That's how those numbers work? Registered 15.1 years ago. Wow, I have been on Twitch for a while. That's wild. Those are ridiculous numbers. What the heck? So if we're doing something like this, maybe it needs to go across here. So like this does this. This grabs that and goes that way. This has its one. This has its one. This has its 3, but now this doesn't have its 1. Unless these are reversed, and then this can have its 1 here. Does that work? Oh. Oh, God, this was troubling me. Your username is 2 because the original was on Justin.tv. And their systems were linked in some weird, messed up way. Yeah. That checks out. That fully checks out. God, that took a while to come together. Don't worry. I don't think anybody is following links to Justin.tv in the year of our Lord 2026. I think you're safe. I think it's gonna be fine. There's another 5 hidden away over here. Oh, there's whatever this... Yo! Sneaky 7? Should I do a 7? Is it time for a 7? It might be time for a 7. Yeah, whatever. It's not like I'm doing anything else. Fascinating. Look at these 6s on the inside. Okay. All right. Sure. Sure. Great. This can't be a 1. So this has to be at least a 3. I guess it could be a 2. Like if this is a 4, this could be a 2. But then this would have to be a 1 and this would have to be a 4, so that doesn't work. This cannot be a 5, but it can be a 6. This can be a 6. This can't be a 1. If this is a 2, this has to be a 4, and this has to be less than a 2, so that doesn't work. This is a 3, this has to be a 1 or a 5, and this has to be less than a 3, so that doesn't work. So this has to be at least a 4. If this is a 4, it could be 3 and 2, so that does work. 5, this could be the 3 here, and then greater than a 3, that also works, except for the 6 here. This can't be a 4, this can't be a 5. So this has to be a part of the 6, I think? I think this has to be a part of the 6. Yeah, in fact, given this the way this 6 is, this has to be either a 6 or a 3, and it can't be a 3. There we go. So everything in these regions is either a 6 or a 3. That's interesting. For these to be a 6, they need to connect. Which means, I guess still anything here could be a 3, right? This could be 3, 3, 3. 6 around, could this be a 3? I just said yes. Any of these 3 could be a 3, and anything up here could be a 3. Yeah, okay. So knowing that these 2 is a 6 doesn't mean I know anything about any of the other spots. Too bad. I guess it could be like a 6, a 2, and a 1, or a 6 and 3 1s. That is also fair. I should probably not rule out things that do not have to be ruled out. But this cannot be a 1, 2, or 3. And it cannot be above a 3 without being part of the 6. For this one specifically. Which means this 3 can't go up. Because this has to be a 4 or a 4 or an 8. Right? 4, 4, 8. So this 3 has to be here. Which seems problematic. No, it means that this has to be a 2. Which means that this has to be a 4. Whatever. It doesn't need to be written on. We know what it is. This has to be a 4. So now that I know that this is a 4, we know some more things about other places. Like whatever this is needs to be smaller than a thing in here. The most this could be a 6 is the most this could be is a 6. English language, please. So the most this could be is a 5, so the most this could be is a 4. And we know there's a 2 down here, so this needs to be a 1 on its own. So this interior needs to look like this. Which means this is exactly a 5, which means this is either a 4 or a 6, so it's a 6. This could be pretty much anything here. Anything between a 2 and a 6. Between a 2 and a 5, actually. It can't be a 6. And then this has to be 3 to 6. 3 or 6, in fact. Exactly. This now is either 5 or 7. If it's a 7, this is either a 5 or a 9, so that doesn't work. So this has to be exactly a 5, and then this has to be exactly a 3. Which means this has to be the 6. Because the 3 can't get over there. So that tells me that this is probably a 5. I guess it doesn't have to be yet. We don't know. This is 5 or less. This is 4 or less. So this has to be 3 or less. Could be a 3, a 2, or a 1, depending on factors. But that means that these are separate. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Where else does this go? We know that this is a 3. So either this or this is a 3. And the 6 reaches around the rest of it. So now we have, this is either a 3 or a 9. Which means whatever it is, it extends to here. So which means it has to be exactly the 3. This is either a 4 or an 8. So whatever it is, it extends to here, which means it has to be the 8. Maybe this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least. This also has to be either 4 or 8. No, that's not true. This could be part of the 3. So, well, this is a 2 and this is a 1. So this is a 3. So this is a 2? Can't be a 4. So yeah, this has to be a 2. Oh, whatever this is has to be bigger than a 6? Yikes. And this? So it's probably a 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That does work. Because it can't connect to here and it can't connect to here. So yeah. So that works fine. If this is a 1, it's got to be like that. Which is fine. If this is a 5, it's got to extend through here. And grab this. Which means this has to be the 2. Yep. Great, great, great. Yo, what's up, Tails? Thank you for the party hat. I believe that to be party hat number 5. I have been wrong about these things before, but I believe that to be party hat number 5. This now needs to be less than a 3, and there's only room for a 1. So this is either a 2 or a 10. So it extends to, at minimum, there. It can't get through here, so it has to be a 2. This is a 2. This cannot be a 4. It can be an 8. No, it can't be an 8 because of the 0 here. This cannot be a 4 or an 8. It cannot be a 5. Because 5 and 6, no good. So it has to be 3, 1, 1. And then there's one more 1 out here somewhere. Cool, 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 cool. Oh my god, it's a party hat storm! Thank you, Kalaman. Much appreciated. Have a good day at work. Have fun storming the castle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay. So that's just 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just 5. So this is either 4 or 6. This is 4 or less, which means it's exactly a 1. Yeah! Love it. That actually came together really cleanly. Like, each step was kind of its own piece and didn't really interfere. And it took some, like, thinking about how to get the steps done. But I didn't feel like I was forced into trying things out in a weird way, like I frequently am with compasses and watchtowers. The whole compass watchtower thing does not, like, I just don't grok it. Whereas this made a lot more sense to me. Spectacular. Alright. This 6 has been standing over here taunting me for quite some time. Let's resolve that. No! I did not want this thing that you said! Alright, alright. Alright. Alright, okay, alright. Okay, alright. We gotta do this. And then this has to be the other color. And then we have some kind of maze in the center for all of the blue pieces to connect. And the pink and the purple to come in and interfere in whatever way it's interfering. So this could be blue surrounded by purple, or this could be purple surrounded by blue. This needs a wall somewhere. And it cannot be here or here. So it needs to be either here, making this all blue, or here, making this all purple, which also doesn't work. So it needs to be exactly here. It needs to be exactly like that. So here also the same. All right, that's that resolved. You need to be light blue, buddy. Thank you. How much do I know about these other symbols? So this cannot corner here or here. Has to corner here. Not sure you understand what Loopy is saying. That's fair. So Loopy means that you cannot have exactly 3 regions touching in a corner. This is 1 region in a corner. This is 2 regions in a corner. This is 3 regions in a corner and is not allowed by Loopy. This is 4 regions in a corner. The big deal about Loopy, though, that isn't accounted for by all of these watchtowers, is the borders. The entire border needs to be 1 color because of that. There are exactly 2 regions here, yes, because of rose windows. But the outer edge needs to be all one thing because of Loopy. Because otherwise, the outside counts as an extra border or region for the border purposes of Loopy. Which means this happens here. And here as well, which means that happens. And now here, I don't know where the wall must be. But it could be exactly purple surrounded by blue. Or it could be blue coming in from any one of the other 3 sides and then being surrounded by purple. This needs to be purple, as does this. As does this. So this is either wall, or wall. In either case, this is blue and this is blue. The question is just, how does it connect across? That's interesting. Knowing what the colors are without being able to determine where the walls are, that's real interesting. This has to come out to here, which means that's a wall, so that's pink. Or purple, or whatever. Which means that's a wall, so this is blue. What other information do I currently possess? Here. Can this be pink? Yes. It cannot be blue here, right? So if this is blue, either the wall is here or here. And if this is pink, the wall is here. Regardless, the wall is not here. So this is connected in either blue or pink. Which I can't really show here. I guess I can mark it as a connection. Which that really doesn't make sense as a mark, but so be it. I could mark this as not a wall somehow. That actually makes a little bit more sense. I am marking this as not a wall. Yes, the outside is a third color, sort of. For the purposes of Loopy, the outside is a third region. I think because of the 2 colors and everything connected, we can't have cross color. So this needs to be blue. Which means same here, this needs to be blue. And this is not a wall. Why do I know this is not a wall? So this has to connect here and go out. Yeah, every corner must touch... Yes. Every corner must touch both colors is probably the most important part of the implications. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. That connects out here then. So then this is a wall, and this goes either left or right. If that's a wall, that has to be blue. And this cannot be blue and must be pink. So this cannot be pink and must be blue. And this being its corner means that has to happen, which means that has to be pink. Which means this cannot be pink here. And there's no other way for it to be pink. So it must be blue. So it must be blue like this. So this connects this way. That's pink now. This and this. If this is pink, this is pink. And this is blue, and this is blue. Because of how these work all of the time. Which means that needs to connect out that way. Here. Here. We don't have the details yet. I actually really like this rule set. This is kind of cool. The way that this comes together, I think it's really neat. What does this mean? Can this be pink? One of these is the wall. The one wall. So either it is blue, like that, or it's pink like that. It's blue like that. Is that a problem? Versus pink like that. Is that a problem? Unclear which, if any, is the problem. This is as resolved as I can get it for now. Until we figure out which of these is abandoned and needs to be connected. Like, it would make a lot of sense for this to be... Oh, if this is blue here... I see the problem. Okay, if this is blue here... I'm gonna go to the... If this is blue here... This needs to be pink. Which means we have pink here. Which means this needs to be blue. And now we have blue, blue, blue. So this pink is... Oh no, this pink can still come down. Damn it! Damn it! It still works! Ah! I thought I had hit a problem. I had not hit a problem. I had hit something. I don't know what I'd hit. But it wasn't the thing I was looking for. Too bad. That just means that this has to be pink in that situation. If this is blue, this has to be pink. If this is pink, does that mean this has to be blue? I don't know. I don't think it does. If this is pink, what does that look like? This has to be blue. This now has to be pink. Which means this now has to be blue. Connecting to there. This is fascinating. This means blue and pink and pink. And this either connects here or connects up and through. Is this a problem or is this right? Distressing. I'm gonna rewind because I still don't have anything conclusive there. What about this one? Either it is pink and pink, or it is blue and blue. This being pink means this has to be blue. This being blue means this can't be blue, I think. All right? Where else do we have dead ends? Here. Like, if this is blue, then for this to be blue means we have pink, pink on a bunch of corners, pink on the sides. I guess it could be like that, and then this could reach out like that, and that would still work. Or it could be like this, right? And then we could do that. Either way. I guess either way. Either way. Everything is allowed. Nothing is conclusive. If this is pink, I think that creates a problem. Or this could be blue. This can't be blue. Well, if it's blue, it has to come from up here. It can't be blue like that or blue like that, because that would cause kitty corner problems. Diagonals. Can't have diagonals. So either it is pink from this side, or it is blue from this side. If it's pink from this side, this is blue regardless. If it's blue from this side, okay, yeah. So this is how that goes, which means this is here, which means this is blue, which then has to connect from here, which means that seals that off like that. That comes out to here, and some amount of additional progress has been made. Unclear how much, but some. Can I do anything with this now as a result of, like, what I have just done here? Can I do something similar here? I don't think so. I guess if this is going to be blue, it can't be from above. It could still be pink and then have blue surrounding it. But if it's blue, it's got to come that way or that way. Because blue from above means pink diagonals. So this has to be a wall. Regardless of which side is which, there has to be a wall there. I really feel like I should have been able to figure this one out by now. I think I am ready to vibe solve the rest of it, though. I don't see the owl, but I could try both of the permutations here and see whether or not it connects in a way that's legal. The most likely case is that it's blue. There's always frog mouths. There's frog mouths around every corner, Cyberpenny. The most likely case is that this is blue. The diagonals are impossible because the two regions would have to cross each other. Exactly. Anytime you see a diagonal, that would mean that this has to connect to this somehow, which means this would then not be able to connect to this because there would be no way out. This is what is known as the checkerboard lemma, as introduced by Islands of Insight. This game doesn't give you lemmas or insights the same way that Islands of Insight did, though. Like, it kind of doesn't teach you the things explicitly. It should be valid for 2 Watchtower, except for that they all have to be connected because there's only 2 regions. And connecting it ends up being a problem in that situation. Alright, we're going to try some things. We're going to see if this ends up being blue. If that's blue, then this is pink. And this is pink, which means this has to be blue. Which means this has to come out to here. This comes out to here, which means blue and blue. This has to be blue here, which connects here. So this has to be pink. which means this has to be pink, which is illegal. So this can't be blue. This has to be pink. Why is every corner is to watchtower somehow more interesting than no squares? Define no squares? You mean like the 4-point bricky? Or... Oh, you mean like specifically no 2x2 regions? I don't think that there is a rule set for no regions can be this region, actually. Or no regions can contain this region. There's not a rule set for sub-regions, at least that I have seen. So while it's not necessarily more interesting for it to be framed this way, it's that this is a rule set in the game and the other one is not a rule set in the game. One way or another. That means this is blue. This is those. This is now pink on multiple sides, which means this has to be blue like that. This is pink here then, which means this connects that way. Which means this is pink. Which means this has to come out to here and connect. Which means this has to be like that. And these have to connect. These have to connect. Hey! Got there. Came together. Yeah, I don't have a convenient listing of all of the rule sets. I'm not sure if that exists. I do have a listing of all of the windows, some of which are places where rule sets were introduced, but not all of them. Eight more puzzles in this region somehow. All of them hidden, sneakily. Alright, where are the remaining sneaky puzzles? Who's out here being sneaky? That one's already resolved. Anybody see any hidden lights? Like that one? Yeah. Found a sneaky boy. Okay, Loopy is irritating, but sure. Size separation. Oh, that's fascinating. So either these two join, or they are separated by an entirely different region because of Loopy. And that happens at every single one of these corners. Either they join or are separated by an entirely separate region. What's up, Ender? How's it going? 5-5. Oh, that's gross. If it's going to grab its left 5 anywhere but these 5, it needs to go up here. Nice watch streak. Artisan of Glimmith. Absolutely. It's going to be their sequel. they're gonna come and watch me stream this game, and they're gonna be like, this man needs to be the face of the next game. Size separation, huh? Intriguing. Oh, these need to be joined. Because of this thing, right? This can't. So these need to be joined. Which means these need to be joined. That's a big region. It's a mighty big region you got there. Be a shame if something happened to it. That means these can't connect. I don't know what else that means. It may or may not grab these spaces. I guess if this and this are part of a region, then it has to include this, right? Because that's breaking loopy. But if it doesn't grab this, then it could go like 1, 2, 3, 4 or something. No. If it doesn't grab this, it would need to go all the way out to here and cause further problems. Right. Right. Either this wall's off completely, or it joins up. And the same goes here. Either this wall's off completely, or it joins up. Oh, it can't join up. Because that would cause problems here. So it must, in fact, wall off completely. Which means if this is a wall, this is a wall. And if... No, this is fine. This too was fine. All right, I think that somewhat conclusively proves that this needs to grab this. And then this is 4, and this is 4. And that's fine. Oh, and then there's this thing, right? Either this walls, or this takes it all. And we... Oh, and it can't do it because of the 4. So this has to wall also. Sure, I think that probably holds true. All of this makes sense to me. This now has to come out here because of this 3. Which means it has to take both of these. Oh, this could actually do that, and that's valid for both of these. But now this is very done. It cannot grab anything below this line, and it cannot grab anything left of this line, which means there is no more space, so it's done. Okay. Okay, great. Great, love that. Progress. Probably. Probably progress. This idiot. What are we gonna do with you? Are you taking these 5? Are you just being real obvious about it? Can you grab some of these without grabbing all of them? I guess it could go like that. And then like that. And that would be incredibly illegal. So no. It can't grab just these 2. It could grab just this 1. But it's still like, if it's not using these for its left 5, it would have to go up here for them. Which means the most it can get is 2, so it would need 3 of these. And the 3 of them would have to not include these. It would have to be exactly these 3, which is definitely illegal because of Loopy. Alright. You've convinced me. So now it needs 3 more going up in some way. And it can do whatever it wants with everything over here on the right. In the bottom right. It can grab this. If it does, it has to grab this. This being a wall here means this needs to be a wall. Things I have to remember. Interesting. If this wants vertical 5... Is that legal? That's weird. That feels like that shouldn't be legal. But I guess this satisfies Loopy? Because it's still 4 borders? Yeah, it's borders. It's not regions. Interesting. But it would still need to grab its 5th vertical somewhere out here then. And there's no way to get exactly one of these. So it needs to, I think, it needs to grab these exactly. And whether it then grabs more is unclear. This 3 is looking suspiciously like this. But of course, that is not a guarantee, that is just vibes. Neighboring regions must have different areas. Ah, so this can't be 1 and 1 here. This has to actually extend through. And now, this is 7 and this is 7, so this has to take at least 1 more space. Which could be like that, or it could be that. There's a lot of different ways for it to do it. So I guess we need to resolve the other compasses before we figure that out. How does this 3 get what it wants? We know this needs to be separated. And, oh, that means this all needs to be a thing across like that. Which means this cannot grab any of these. Which means this needs to join like that. Since this and this cannot be the same region, that actually doesn't mean anything here. This could be grabbing stuff up here, and this could be something separate. Do I think this could be a 1? So the 1 and 1 like that, and then this is like a thing? What? Oh, if this connects, then it has to take this as well because of the corner, because of Loopy. So either this connects to both, or this seals off like that. And if it seals off like that, this can't extend out, because it would take that. So that would be 3 1s next to each other. So this needs to take that like that. And now this needs to be joined in as well. Size separation. Weird. Weird puzzle. I still haven't fully internalized, like, I still don't grok compasses. Compasses are one of the weirdest things for me. Trying to figure out how each can take the things that it needs to take, and then keeping in mind other compasses to do the same thing, just does not make sense to me the same way that some of the other rules do. Compasses are hard! Compasses and Loopy and Bricky, all difficult. This and this can't touch. So wherever this is taking its left 3, it can't go straight down here because it would have to take that. So it can't connect to these 3. So it has to go... It can go down, but it'll have to connect to here eventually, whether or not it goes down. And if it connects to here, it has to connect to there. Which means of these 3, it is taking exactly 1. And it could be any of them. Well, it can't be any of them. It has to be exactly this one. Okay. Well, it can't go left anymore. Or there. It can go down, but then it can't connect to this one. This here means that and that, which means that. Given that it took this, it also has to take that, which means it is 4, and that it took this, it has to take that. And now it's 5, so it can't go up anymore. Whew, all right. This wall means this and this as well. How does this get 3? I think it's got to be this and this. Because it can't be both of these and then one more. It can be this and this. But whatever way this is taking either one more from these bottom areas, it does need to take these two. So this and this need to connect to each other somehow. So this has to come up here. And has to be the appropriate teal. And then it's not going to be this one. That's something else now. Which needs to join up with this, so it needs to be here. Yep. Now this needs exactly one more going up. Which can't be here. Can it be here? And then wall around like that? Probably. Since it's not taking this, it needs to be this one, actually. This is an 8. Is this illegal? No. That's how it's not illegal. We turn this into neither an 8 nor a 7. Wait. Damn it. Yeah, if this is walled off, that needs to happen, doesn't it? Which means this needs to be walled off. Something has gone terribly wrong! I guess this can't take exactly that. Which means maybe that takes that spot? And then it takes this one? This seems like a problem. Everything here seems like a problem. Did I screw it up? Might have screwed it up. Because this needs exactly one more spot vertically. And I don't know how to get one more spot vertically without everything else being a problem. Does this work? Yes. Only if I do that, though. And then that. Oh! 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 Boo! Boo! Get better material. Because this needs exactly one more. And it can't be that one. Why doesn't that work? Oh, because this? Wait. There's so many corners. There's so many corners. Loopy, please. I just want to live my life. Alright, if this can't take that, then it can't take that there. And that's not gonna fly. But that will. I think I screwed something up somewhere else. I think something else is screwed up. I think I may have gotten wrecked. Are things not joining up that could be? If I do this, this doesn't get its 1. Where are you getting your 1 from, buddy? This one makes the most sense. And then we're doing that. Which means we're doing that. Did this screw up? Did I screw up this thing? Because the rest of this mostly makes sense. Is there a way to make this work? You think I'm close? I think I'm close too. Wait, why doesn't this work? Oh, now the 2 8s aren't touching. This does work. Oh. Okay. I didn't screw it up. I just hadn't quite put it together yet because compasses. And loopy. Compasses and loopy. Everything is a problem. Oh, hello. Hello, new friend. You also have not been correctly addressed. Let's fix that. Hey, look, it's bricky this time. That's probably better. Maybe. What does bricky mean for my borders? Does bricky mean anything that I can determine ahead of time? Wow, bricky and boxy? That's weird. That's very weird. Okay, I think boxy means all of these ones have to do exactly this. They can go up more, but they have to do exactly this otherwise. This has to take this for sure. And it could be like a short I piece, or it could be an O. One or the other, but it definitely has to take this. This has to be the O. And then could extend to the right. But this is resolved. Which means this is resolved. This 4 is interesting here, because I think it needs to be exactly these 4 that it's taking. Like, it can't grab this 3. Yeah, I think it needs to be exactly this. And then this needs to be there. So this now has to be exactly that, with no additional leeway. Size separation also. Rough, rough. Oh, this corner here means this has to extend up at least one more, because they can't be bricky. Zero bricking allowed. This 4 looks like it's illegal? Ooh, no. This 4, the only way for this to work now with these 3 unclaimed is if it extends into this 2. Which means we have to do this exactly. We have to do that exactly. Which means this needs to take these. And might extend further over to the right. Bricked up on a Wednesday afternoon. Have we seen Loopy Bricky yet? We have, actually. That is a rule set that can happen. This 3 is troublesome, because it's either that or that. I guess at minimum it's this, and definitely does not go up at all. And might take this left or might not. Also troublesome. What about you? You could be doing this. Or this. Or this? No, because then this 3 is, okay, so you can't grab the 3. So you're either doing exactly these 8 or these 6. But either way, you have these 4. And I suppose I need to be paying attention to size separation as well. You know what? I think categorically I can mark these as well. Like, there's definitely going to be more that they need, but they have to take at least that one because of Boxy. Which means this 3 has only one thing that it can do, and that's this. It can't take that, and it can't go further over. It can go left if it needs to. If this seals off, we are violating Bricky. So this has to take this. All right. Where else do I need to do exactly a thing? Those definitely are not touching. This cannot go to the right, because this is 2, and now going up or down would be 4. So this must take these exactly, and cannot go this way anymore. So these 2 have to be joined, whatever they are, whether they're part of the 4 or not. Because the 4 could just go straight up, but these 2 definitely have to be joined. That's sealed. That is sealed. This is a 3, so this can't be a 3, so it has to be a 4. This is a 4, so this can't be a 4, so it has to be at least a 6. What else does this mean for me? Unclear whether this 4 is going left. It's not going right, but it might be going left. So I'm just going to not fill that in yet. Because it still could just go straight up. That is still a thing that it could do. Unless we can figure out a reason why it can't. Maybe I'll keep figuring out other stuff first. This being a wall here means this has to take this. So now this is looking either 4 or 6. 4 like that. Which would be illegal because it's touching a 4. So this has to be the 6. And now there's nowhere else for it to go. Which means this can't be a 6, so it has to be a 9. Which means this has to take its 4 here. Which means this has to take its 4 left and right. Which is exactly all of these? And now this is a problem. Oh dear. Oh dear. How did I get myself into this pickle? Everything about this is a problem. All right. Do some rewinding here. This still feels like I have to do that. Which means I have to do that. Which means I have to do that? Which means this 4 is screwed? Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, we might be doing a full rewind here. Because I believe I have gotten myself into a situation untenable. Oh dear, oh no, oh dear. There's a possibility I am not considering. That is always a possibility. For this to not brick, this has to take it. If this takes this, it's a 4 touching a 4. So it has to take this here. Now this is a 6. Unless things can touch. Unless things can touch in a way that they are not currently touching. This could take the 4, actually. This has to happen. It can't be a 4, so it has to be a 6. Now this can't be a 6, and this can't be a 6. And this 4 can only be resolved if it's part of the 3. Which means this is now fully sealed, as is this, as is this. This has to take this, so we're back at this situation, but now nothing is illegal. Right? I'm a fan of nothing is illegal. This has to be joined here. This has to be joined there. This needs its 2 there. This has to be joined there. This cannot be a 3 next to a 3, but this can still extend further over. This cannot be a 2. So it has to take this. Cannot be a 6. Has to take this. This is legal, though. Nope. I take it back. Oh. Yeah, okay. Sure. Great. Love it. I'm glad there is a way to make that work. Each individual piece is like, no. Okay, no. Okay, no. Okay, well, sure. Great. Love it. Superb. I hope the consternation was clear on my face throughout each step of that, because every piece of it was just wrong. And I was like, wait, why is this wrong? Wait, this is also wrong. Wait, this is also wrong. Until finally I get to like the eating all of it and it's not wrong. It's like, oh, wait, sure. Superb. Just really great. Everything about that was great. You could hear it in the ticking of the puzzle. Yes. Yes. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right. Great. Great. Good times. Quality work, everybody involved. So now we just got to do this other half of the puzzle. In what order does this need to happen? How do we make this happen? These two need to be joined, and it's yet unclear whether they need to be part of the 4 or not. They can be, but they're not sure if they need to be. This 2 is going either up or down, not both. If it goes up, it could also take these 2. If it goes down, it cannot take this. Which is okay. All right, if it does this, that has to be a separate thing, which probably takes this. But we don't have proof in either way. This 4 either takes these 6 or these 5. If it takes these 6, this 3 has to take these 6, which means the 4 has to take these 8. If this 3... Alright, let's start off with if this 3 is taking these 6. This is a good starting point. If the 3 is taking these 6, this can't be a 6 anymore. This 3 can't extend, so this would have to come out to here, which means this 4 has to take these, and again, can't be a 6, so has to be an 8. Now, these two can't be 8s together, so this has to extend. This can't be bricky, so it has to be like that. This is looking like a solution, actually. I think this is it. I think we found it. So now this 4 needs to be like this. Can't be a 6. Can be an 8. The 2 needs to be exactly here. This is a 1 and a 4. Yeah, that's legal. We've got it. We don't got it. This is a 2 and a 1. There we go. We got it. Entirely too many rules. The got it, don't got it, oh wait, actually got it cycle is very real. Woof. Alright. Where are there more hidden puzzles? Oh? Oh? Also this bad boy? Many hidden puzzles. Alright, we got a 7 here. And a 5 down here, both of which must be addressed in the near future. However, prior to that addressing, it is... Alright, so there are some sneaky little puzzles out here we have not yet fully resolved. Oh my god, there's so many 7s. Oh, that one's done. Never mind. No mere return, but a triumphant one. Correct. The arch is currently in the planning stages. Here we go. This is the angle. So there's this 5 and this 7 under here that need to be addressed. I suppose we'll start with the quote-unquote easy one. I hate it here. That's not true. I don't necessarily hate it here. I'm just not comfortable with it here. That's a 1. That's a 1. That's a 4. That's a 4. That's a 4. Loopy, A. This is interesting, this 4113. Because in order to get 4, it has to take 2 above. And then take the 1 and the 1 as part of the 4 up here somewhere. So the 3 down has to be exactly that. Which means all of this is something else and needs to be a part of that. So, that's where that is. Loopy means we get to do this business. Yeah, okay, understood. Is that allowed? It's not. So those have to connect there. Which means this is not taking this, is taking these 2, and then is going down, grabbing exactly 1 to the right, one of these 2, and then also this. And is not connecting there, which means that connects there. Which means that does not connect there. Oh. Oh. Eee. Oh dear. Okay, that is concerning. Maybe differently concerning. This has to connect here, which means it has to connect there. The only way it's going to get more out of the left side is if it goes down, which means it has to connect there. Which means... this is all resolved. That not necessarily, actually. No, that's all resolved also. That is also a separate thing. Because now it has 3 down and 4 left and 2 up. So this has to be the only one it can have. Oh, nope. And 1 to the right. It's done. It's just done. Great. Great. Done. Perfect. What's up, Ender? I did not expect you to awawa at me. Great. No, that's super good. I love all of that. This cannot take this one, so it has to take this one. So this has to be a separate thing. This can take this. In fact, this must take this. And then that's a separate thing, which cannot go through there. And this is sealed, so that needs to be sealed. This is still intriguing to me. That goes across. It has to take the corner piece. So either all 3 of these are connected, or they're all sealed off. Neither of which is a guarantee yet. Cool. This needs these 3, which means it needs these 2 as well, much like this up here. It's got its 2 to the left. It's got its 1 up. Oh, yeah, it's just done. Which means that's sealed off as well, and that's sealed off as well. We know that's sealed off here. This needs to be sealed off. If this goes here, I suppose that's legal. This is concerning, though. These are some big numbers. This bad boy needs quite a bit of additional support here. As does this one. Holy. Okay. Yeah, all of the rest of this is going to get decided by these 2. And, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like needing to work with that. These need to be a thing. This is interesting here. If that connects out, which is legal, I suppose. Or it doesn't, and then this just goes up. Which is also legal? Maybe? Maybe. You need 9 down here, huh? How are you gonna get 9? Maybe this. Maybe just, like, turn this into, like, a thing. You need 8 to the left. Which means you have to come down somehow. You can't go right very far. So you must need to do this. And you must need to do this. Oh, I don't like that, actually. That doesn't seem good. That seems like a problem. If you're going left, you need to take one of these 2. Unclear which one, but one of them. Only 4 left is weird. Can you take both, actually? No, you can't. So if only 4 passed here, that means it needs all of these 5 for the 9. Which means now it can't take this one to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That goes there and then has to come back up, because now it has all of the 4 down that it can take. Just 3. 4. It can't take this, because then it can't take these 2. So it's got to take these 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now the 2 above have to be on this side. It can't be here. Because that needs that. So the 2 above has to be here. That needs to join there. This... unclear yet. This needs 1 more. Oh, and it needs to be this, actually. And then this needs to be all one thing that connects here. Doesn't connect there, but does connect there. Ooh, that worked! Yeah! Alright, this is done here. This needs 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more in this region. 1, 2, 3, something? 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. Okay. It can't take these two. This cannot be this is loopy here, so it's got to take that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it can't take both of these. It can only take one. Since this one would need to take this to not take that, or just go down? No, it can't go down. So it needs to take this, and this needs to be a separate thing. This cannot be a third thing, so either this goes across or this goes up. How much more do you need? You're resolved. You need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You need 2 more. This is troubling. Because this wall, either this is a wall, or I guess at this point there's not stopping it from just being a bunch of individual ones, like 1 and oh no, that can't be a 1, but that could be a 2. I guess this needs to be 2 together. 5, 6. So it could be these two. And then that could be a thing. Wah! Got there. Slowly figuring out how to loopy. Loopy is barely starting to make sense. Oh my god, I hate this. All regions must have the same shape. And also bricky. And we don't know what that shape is. Or the size of it. Which is, I guess, what makes this a 7. You know, what would be funny is if it was match and bricky, and these two symbols weren't here, it could just be all one shape. That only breaks compass. All right, so what is my shape? What is my one shape? This needs 2 down, but it could be like that, right? Or it could be like that. This needs 2 across and needs to match this shape, whatever this shape is, in such a way that we don't bricky. In such a way that we don't bricky ever. Which means this can't... that can happen. Just that can't happen. I don't think there's any obvious place where I cannot draw one line with bricky at the moment. Something like this, though, can't happen. Right? I can't draw that wall. Or here. So this can't wall there. That's not legal. Can go across. Can even take that. Like, it could just be, you know, something weird like this. Could be the thing, for example. I don't know. I don't know how big the shape needs to be. And then there's whatever's going on down here needs to be able to fill in the shape, whatever the shape is, right? So the shape... I suppose because of the way that this stuff down here is so limited, I might be able to figure out the shape based on that. Whatever the shape is. Because, like, this can't be an edge to the shape here. The shape can't stick in like that. But, like, this would be legal. And then we end up stuck. So no. I feel like I ought to be able to use Bricky to determine the shape. But I'm not positive about that. Also, some slight meta knowledge. The fact that the auto palette uses 3 colors makes me think that the shape is smaller rather than larger, because there's going to be a lot of adjacent shapes. Or that's what I think that the three colors for auto palette means, is that there's going to be a lot of adjacent shapes. So it's probably not like a 7 or 8 size shape. It's probably like a 5 or a 6 or a 3. Has to be at least a 3, that much I know. And it's probably not just the 3i. That seems incredibly dangerous. And also illegal. Like, that's not going to fly. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like how difficult it is to get this started. Like, once I figure out the shape is going to be easy, right? If instead of match it was shape bank, this would be like a 4 or a 3. But because it's match and I gotta figure out what the stupid shape is, it's a 7. Arbitrary difficulty. Nah. Whatever it is has to be able to fit within this 2. Which means the largest the shape could be is 11. It's probably smaller than that. So it's somewhere between a 4 and an 11. That's still a pretty big range for shapes. That's still a lot of different shapes that could be the shape. Have we ruled out 3L? Oh, no, I suppose we haven't. It's true, given these 2s, the 3 elbow is not illegal. That would require exactly this elbow. This means that that has to join. So this has to join. This means that that has to join. Yeah, I mean, this is worth kind of playing through just to figure it out, right? This has to join. It's not true, that could be there. Hmm? Yeah, that's gonna be illegal. That's gonna be illegal. Yeah, okay, this is illegal. Because the way this tiles. There is no way for that to work. Alright. So what if it is... It can't be an eye. The 4-eye. Man, do I just have to go through every goddamn shape until I have a reason why it can't be that thing? No, because some shapes don't fit the criteria of this 2 and this 2. But it could be an L. Maybe. Which would be like this, and then either left or right here. Can't be right, so it would be like that. And this has to come out and cannot go right or left, so it would have to go down and there, which is illegal. Can't be an L. Can it be an O? Nope. Too many weird areas. It can't be a T. There is no way for a T to fit here with the 2. Z? How would a Z fit here? Like that? Not like that, for sure. Like that? This would need... I don't think a Z can actually fit against this thing either. What's up, Chrono? How's it going? Like there? For it to be 2 and then connect, it has to be these 2 exactly, and then it can't connect. Yeah, it can't be a Z either. So it can't be any of the 4s. I mean, also whatever is going on over here is a problem, freely admitted. Can't be any of the 4s. Now there's a whole range of 5s to go through, a whole range of 6s to go through. Anything past that starts getting real annoying. As if 5 and 6 wasn't already real annoying. Because there's like 12 5s. 10 5s? There's 10 5s. And then there's however many 6s. Lots. Can eliminate a lot of the large ones. Yes, probably true. To a degree. Yeah. Yeah, needing to fit within this space is certainly more restrictive for a lot of the larger shapes. It's true. Well, I guess we just start looking at 5s and see if any of the 5s work. Does this work? Feels like it ought to. No, it doesn't. These corners are too messy. Okay, what's the list of 5s? That doesn't work. What else? What else? What else? The 5i doesn't work. Most of the 5s. Yeah, but I need to know what they are, Chrono. Needs to have a 2x2. It doesn't. There's other ways to make that work. I guess there's not other ways to make that work. Does this all need to be one shape? I guess if it's not all one shape, then it needs to be like these 3 and then other things. So this has to connect, whatever this is has to connect to the others if it's that big. Okay. All of the 5s I didn't try are eliminated. Fair enough. So the next thing to try is maybe this 6? Look at all that brain power. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, you could just see it steaming off of my head, huh? The thing that I am cooking is my own brain. Is there a way to make this work with the 2s? Something like that. For this one. Would need to do that. For that to be valid. Which then means... Is there any other way to position this and still be valid for this too? One of these 2 takes this. Same thing here. Same thing here. Well, I guess that takes this exactly. Wow, this actually looks like it just works. Weird. Problems. This part doesn't work the way I want it to. Whoa, it does! Hey! Alright. We found a shape that works. That's good. That's good. Glad that happened. Alright, now I gotta look for more tricksy little hidden puzzles. You only didn't believe in me for a short time. I see, I see. So what you're saying is your belief in me is dependent on performance. That's what I'm hearing. Your belief is conditional. Which makes it not exactly belief, is it? It's something else. Outcome-focused evaluation, sure. Oh? Well, this is certainly something. All right, well, let's do the thing that I have to do. Now that I have done the things that I have to do, maybe I can connect things. It's belief in objective reality. I don't know about that. Like, you don't have to believe in a table. I think belief in something is different from knowing something. It's a lot of 8s. It is a lot of 8s. There sure are a lot of 8s. All right. Can these two join? Can these two join? Can these... Let's find places where they can't join. I don't think there's any places where they can't join, actually. These can't join. So these have to be separated. These can. These can't here. Draw the wall, I guess. This 8 is very interesting to me. All of these 8s are very interesting to me. Because there is 8, 10, 12 on each side. And also on each side, there is an 8 and a 2, leaving 2 unaccounted for. There was an old religious philosopher whose name you can't remember, said that only humans existed, and only the world that humans were looking at existed. And God just recreated the world each time we looked at a spot. Sure, that sounds like a Greek philosopher. We live in an MMO, and there's clipping to save frames. I mean, there's also the idea that, you know, anything that we see is just how our brain interprets light coming in. So there's only so much reality that we can be sure of. And it's entirely dependent on how our brains interpret whatever various inputs. I don't know. I don't remember a bunch of... I took a college course on some of this stuff, and I really don't remember any details. But basically, you can make up anything you want, and most likely a Greek philosopher argued about it. Is this why Daredevil is a superhero? Yeah, probably. This 2-2 is very interesting here. Because it doesn't necessarily include these. But it sure seems likely, doesn't it? I guess if it doesn't include those, then it has to go out through here and here, and then collect 2 more. Like, it's definitely not doing that here. Is there a way that it comes out here and then collects like a bunch of stuff and then does more work somehow? Like it can grab these two, but then it can't get anything more down here. And that seals this off. Yeah, it feels like this has to connect to both of these. And then it can't go that way anymore or that way anymore. So this and this are sealed off. And then it can do whatever it wants in this. Oh, there's 5 shapes. Oh, there's 5 shapes. But it has to go out this way, and it has to go out this way. Which means it has to take this square. So now it can take more, but otherwise it is fully resolved. The spicy 8s. Yeah, there's a lot of 8s. Weird little 8s in a lot of places here. This one is especially annoying. Because most of them seem like they're fairly obvious, which I don't trust, for the record. But, like, this seems like it is exactly, you know, if I take all of this stuff, look, that's 2, and this is 8. You did it. Congratulations. This is 2 here, and then if I take all of this stuff, it's 2, and then 8. You did it. Congratulations. And then there's this mess, which if I try to do the same thing, gets 2 circles. And this can't just go around the circle, so it has to claim this one. And then for it to have an 8 down here, it has to grab this purple. Because it can't just grab these 6. That doesn't work. That's not 8. So it has to grab these 8. And this has to grab this for the same reason. But it can't grab the purple. And it can't grab the circle. So it has to do that. That's not necessarily true. And then it's like, do I grab this square? Who knows? I have room for 1 more down here. Wait, I guess this is required, isn't it? It just has to do exactly this thing. Untrustworthy. All of this is based on doing the obvious thing up here. Like, this is entirely vibe solving right now. None of this is guaranteed. But, like, this comes out, and these have to... They don't have to connect, do they? I want them to connect, but they don't have to connect. In fact, they can't connect here. Because this can't join that. So this has to take that. Without, like, this just doesn't work. None of this works. Unless that takes that. Which I guess that works. Okay, never mind. I take it back. And then this comes out here. Has to come out through there. And this comes out here. And again, needs to come out. Oh, it needs to take that, I suppose. And that then? Sure, I believe it. But needs to take these. And cannot take this. Nor that. Which means this has to take this as its square. And that's done. Well, it's not done. It could take more spaces. But this can't take that, which means that's sealed off. Which means this has to be that triangle. And it can't connect to here. So this has to come out here, which means it has to take that. If it takes that, is that a problem? Unclear. But it can't take these. I don't know why this is sealed off. Oh, this is sealed off because these two can't connect. So this has to come out here. which means this takes these no problem. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Oh, maybe that's part of this orange. Maybe that's what's going on here. Because this is fine, but then it can't take that spot, and this can't be separated, and this can't be green. Like, these two can't connect. This has everything it needs. I guess it could take that spot. No. So yeah, it looks like these have to connect like that, except that doesn't work here. So I think we're broken. I think this is it. We have proceeded logically from an assumption, and now that assumption is proven false. Unless I'm missing something here. Which is possible, wouldn't be the first time. That needs that, and then needs us a purple as well. That's 5, that's 5, that's 5. That's 5. That's 5. This needs these two to be a 5. If this takes these, and this takes these, is that okay? Ah! It turns out it is okay. Alright, never mind. I just needed these two to connect to each other, and then everything was fine. Yet another case of filling in regions ahead of time caused me problems. I am bothered by Loopy. Loopy continues to bother me. Bother, bother, bother. Alright, we're still looking for a few more sneaky boys out here. If any of our boys are particularly sneaky. Oh, I think I found one. Yeah, you're looking kind of sneaky. And also not yet resolved. Huh! Alright, that's fine. These are fun, actually. Alright, and then I think I know things about this wall. Right? Like, if this was the wall, or this was the wall, then it breaks. And if this is the wall, it breaks. So this has to be this. And I think the same thing has to happen here. Which means we have pink in the center, pink in the center. This has to be blue. This has to be blue. Pink, purple, whatever. Something. Which means this cannot be pink. This can be pink. If this is also pink. Let's see. So what else can we determine from this situation? Can this be pink here and then blue around the outside? Probably. This cannot be pink from any other direction. Can it be blue like this? Pink around here? Sure. Blue like this? These two? Pink around there? Sure. Blue like this? Pink around there? Sure? Not conclusive. None of that is conclusive. Does this game have delineated progression aside from a cathartic stockpile? Solving puzzles is progression. There is some areas where the puzzles are linear and you have to solve them in order, and there are some areas where you have to solve a certain number of puzzles in order to unlock the next area. At this point, I have unlocked all of the areas save one, which requires getting some number of areas fully completed, rather than partially completed. This one? Can this be pink? Like that? Maybe. Well, this is interesting, the way that these two connect. If this is pink here, I can't have pink coming in from top or bottom, because then it has to be blue on all of the other corners, on all of the other edges, which breaks the checkerboard lemma. Pink from here is the same problem. It breaks the checkerboard lemma. This can't be pink at all. This has to be blue. Which means that's pink, that's pink, that's pink. And it needs to be pink all the way around. So now this is either pink-blue or blue-pink. Pink-blue or blue-pink. Something is happening here. Here also something is happening. If this is the wall, then it's blue. If the wall is anywhere else, then it's pink. And I don't know how feasible that is. If the wall is here, no. Here, no. Here, no. So it's got to be blue. Which means checkerboard, this has to be blue. That has to come in there. This has to come in there. Ah, pink on two sides. So this is blue. Which means this has to be blue. So this has to be pink. And connect. Progress? Heck yeah. I think this needs to be blue? Unless the wall is here. That would work. The important part is either it's blue like this, or it's pink like this. Which means no matter what, this is... Yeah, this can't be pink. This has to be blue. Which means that connects there. Can I do the same thing here? Can I determine things? If it's pink, it's gotta be like that. Which connects. And that seems legal. If it's blue, it's gotta be like that. Which would require this. Which also seems legal. All of this seems legal. I don't think I can determine one way or another. I guess if it's pink like that. And if it's blue... So both of these are either blue or pink. Connected via here. And this is the opposite. If I have two legal states, I'm a paralegal. Oh, dear. I strongly dislike that, Chrono. Want you to know. I want you to have that information. So whatever this is, these are X's, and this is an O. Whatever X and O is. Which doesn't mean anything, unfortunately. Because if O is pink, this can't be an O. But if O is blue, this has to be an O. Oh, which means this has to be blue regardless. So no matter how this plays out, this has to be blue. Which is real interesting. That's not the conclusion I expected to draw. Neat! Alright. One of these two are walls. Which means both of these are walls. Because these can't both be walls here. So this is either blue-blue or pink-pink. So either blue all the way around or pink all the way around. Anywhere else that I can just draw some walls, that I can just know that walls exist? Not at the moment, it seems. All right, whatever this is, because of this, we know that it'll extend to the other two. So if this is pink, this is blue, and this has to be blue. If this is blue, this is pink, and this has to be blue. So once again, this has to be blue. Ah. Which tells me what that is, and what that is. Neat. Yet another one of, like, I didn't expect that to work, but it does. That's fascinating. Can I do that anywhere else? I guess this and this aren't connected. Yeah, there's 3 more of these one-wall palisades, and they're not connected to anything yet. So we are a little bit out of our depth for those. Let's see. If these are all pink, this is sealed off and has to come out here. If these are all blue, on the other hand, I think that doesn't mean anything. No conclusions can be drawn. Versus. If these are blue, if this is pink, then this has to be blue. But if these are blue, then this has to be pink. Okay. So this has to be an O, whichever one these are. This has to be an O. Because if these are blue, this has to be pink. And if these are pink, this has to be blue. Yeah, great. Inspire is probably the wrong word there, Chrono. But thank you anyway. If this is blue, this has to be blue. If this is pink, I don't think I am drawing any conclusions. Presume they push me to finish the game faster so I can end stream early and escape. You attribute much power to yourself, Chrono. Which mostly I am happy to continue attributing to you. But, like, don't get cocky. Although, credit where it's due, your puns are truly atrocious. Which I'm assuming is what you're going for. Given this can't be a wall. Because if it was blue here, that would violate the 2. And if it was pink here, that would trap the blue. So this can't be a wall. These two have to connect. I think this I can also determine something here. Like this cannot be pink, I think. It cannot be pink from here or here, right? We can't have pink, blue, blue. So if it's pink, it comes in from here or from here. And I have no restrictions on it being blue at the moment. Can this be blue at all? If this is blue... If this is blue, this can't be the wall. So we can't make a full blue block here. If this is pink, this also can't be the wall, because that would block the blue out. Okay, so this also cannot be the wall, which means the wall is either here or here. Wall here or wall here? These are all the same, whatever they are. So we have another XX, 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 O. If these are blue, then this has to be blue. If these are pink, blue, blue, this still has to be blue. Fascinating. Ah, if these are pink, then this is blue through to here, has to come out to here, but this is a dead end. It would seal these four blue off with no symbols. These cannot be pink. And now I have this. So the wall is either here or here. No. Much like this. There must be walls here and here, because either one of these two has to enter. Is it possible to make the purple-pink section blue as well? No. For my own peace of mind, I am unable to do that thing. This means something here. Probably. Worst of all possible worlds confirmed. You can have like a blue house and a blue window and a blue Corvette. And in fact, you could even put a filter on your monitor and then everything could be blue for you. That is a possibility. That's allowed. You could do whatever you want to your monitor. I'm not the police. Hey, Nell, how's it going? Welcome. Welcome, Nell, Gwyn, and friends. I'm assuming that's pronounced correctly. I'm hoping that you don't pronounce the ones as ones. But thank you for the party hat. That makes 6 party hats. Party hats always appreciated. Welcome, Rat Finks, as well. Thank you for joining. As you can see, I am a puzzle game enthusiast. You do not pronounce the ones. Great, 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 great. Okay. I mean, there was that one Quake like professional player who was Fatality with the I as a 1, and people would pronounce it as Fatal 1 thank you. And I don't actually know which one of those is correct. Like, either of those is possible. Which, sucks. That sucks. But yeah, thank you for the raid, Nell. Welcome, Nell and friends. I am Jim the Eternal. I do variety streams, some of which is puzzles. Sometimes it's strategy or Metroidvanias or roguelikes or deck builders or some combination of those genres. Play a lot of indie games, play not a lot of AAA games. But yeah, that's where we're at. Box? Who's Box? Oh. Okay. 2 Chinese characters that used to show up as character missing boxes on Windows. So it became Box. That's great. That's super good. You should raid and run. Well, I mean, I'm in the middle of this one puzzle. We're not getting out of this puzzle. So if you've seen these mechanics before, you're probably good on spoilers. But if any of these mechanics are new to you, then adios. Thank you for your service. This is a bit of a mess, though. This is certainly taking its sweet time and coming together. But yeah, thanks again for the raid. I think this is like the second time you've shown up here, right? Like to raid other Glimmith players. I respect that. Better than I do. I'm, too much of a slacker to raid other people. This is blue. Man, I've got like a bunch of individual small pieces that don't quite come together into a cohesive whole yet. Oh. First Glimmith stream in a while, so took a break from it to stream Pragmata. Oh yeah, I've heard good things about Pragmata. Would probably be enjoyable if I were to pick it up. Much like any number of other games that I have heard good things about. UVS Nirmana. I have not heard about that. What is UVS Nirmana? It sounds like a ship name. Is it a ship? Is it a ship girl? Is it part of the Kankole extended universe? I regret saying those words out loud. All right, what are we doing here? What is the next step? Surely there is another step that can be determined at this point. Surely. New game from Zach Barth and Coincidence? I have no idea what any of these things are. Wow, I'm so out of touch. What circles do you travel in, Nell? Like, where is all of this coming from? What kind of game is it? Who are these developers? I desire to know more. Can I determine anything about this? I don't think so. I think this is too far removed. Likewise, I think this is too far more removed. It's a programming puzzle game? Oh, that does sound like a thing I would enjoy, actually. Wait, is Zach Barth like the Zachtronics people? Ah, okay. I do know where you're coming from. I do know what circles you travel in. These are circles that I am intimately familiar with. Yeah, Opus Magnum was a lot of fun. I never played TIS 100. There's actually a bunch of Zachtronics games I haven't played. And maybe should play. At some point. Published by Clay. Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, we know who Clay are as well. That's certainly a thing that we know. Yeah, I've played a decent chunk of Zachtronics games, but by no means all of them. I imagine they would all be fairly entertaining. I keep running into, like, descriptions of Exapunks that makes me want to play it, but I never have the activation energy to actually pick it up and start playing it. Also, there's, like, a million other games that I want to play. Can we figure any of this out yet? Are these X's and O's resolved yet? Maybe here I can figure something out the same way I did over here? No, there's not enough other things touching it. Ah, curses. All right, thank you for the luck now. Much appreciated. Do gotta figure this out eventually. It's taking its sweet time coming together, though. What is my next step? How do I put the rest of this together? This boy? This one? I guess I could be like, if this is X, and all of these are O's? That's not true. Like if this is X, yes, then some number of these are O's. But if it's pink, oh, that doesn't help, does it? It doesn't help. Because I don't know if this is X or if it's blue coming in from somewhere else, or it's not helpful. This is pink, and we have blue around it. If this is blue, then we have pink around it, so the blue needs to come in from one of the other directions, and we don't know which. This lets me determine where some of the walls are, but doesn't let me determine the colors involved. But whatever this is, these three are the other color, right? So whichever blue or pink this is, it's going to come in from here. So we're going to have O here, and O here. Either blue or pink in some configuration. Does this mean anything? If this is pink, this is blue. Right? If O is pink, this is blue. If O is blue, this is indeterminate. If O is blue, this is pink. If O is pink, this is indeterminate. Because this blue could still connect through here. So if this is pink, all of this has to be blue. If this is pink, this is blue here. Ooh, okay. If O is pink, no. If O is blue, this has to be pink. If O is pink, hold on, I'm getting there. If O is pink, it's coming together. If O is pink, this can't be pink? If O is pink, this can't be pink, I think. Because this being pink would require the rest of this being pink, which breaks this. Like, if this is pink, if O is pink and this is pink, this has to be blue. So if O is pink, this has to be blue. And if O is blue, this has to be pink. So this has to be X. Which is great. Which means whatever X this is, if this is pink, this has to be blue. If this is blue, this has to be pink. This has to be O. Do these two have to be opposite? If this is blue, this has to be pink. If this is pink... If this is pink, does the blue have to connect through here? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because the blue could still be out here if it doesn't connect here. If this is pink and this is blue, then this has to be pink. And the blue could extend out through here. No. Yeah, if this is pink, the blue can't go out through here. It has to go up here. So if O is pink, this has to be blue. And if O is blue, this has to be pink? No. If O is blue, oh, if this is blue, this cannot be pink or blue. Because it has to be pink because of this circle, so it can't be blue. But if it's pink, it causes the checkerboard lemma. Right? Right? That works? That works. If this is blue, then this can't be pink and it can't be blue. So this can't be blue. This has to be pink. Which means this has to be blue. Which means this has to be pink. Which means this has to be blue like that. Cool. I think all of that works. I think that is all correct. Progress was... Yeah, progress of some kind. So now, if this blue comes out to here, it's trapped. So it still has to connect through to here. And connect out through here. So all of this X has to be blue. Which means this has to be pink. Oh! We did it. We moved forward. God, that was tricky to come together. All right, here. Now we have this to deal with. Right? Not yet, actually. If this is blue, is there a world in which it is blue from the other side? These two pink here means this can't be pink? Yeah, this can't be pink. But I don't know where the blue is coming from. If it's here, we have pink around the edges. Oh, hang on. if we have pink connected like this, now this has to either be... This has to be blue, and it can't be from here. Because if it's from here, it would be sealed off. And if it's from here, it breaks the watchtowers, because this would have to be pink, which breaks the watchtowers. Actually, I can just right now say this needs to be blue, and then we can draw some walls. Because of the corner. And other corner. We've determined that's how corners work. I'm not going to argue with it. So, if this is blue into here, that means all of this is pink. And then it has to be blue into here, which is completely sealed off. So this has to be pink. Blue into there, which means pink, 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 pink. Which means... Actually, just be pink and make my life a little bit easier. Thank you. Which means now we're over here and here. So this is all interesting work. Here means I can do the XO thing. So, regardless of whether this is pink or blue, it connects to both of these. Right? Which means this is O, which means one of these two is the O connector, and the other is an X. If X is pink, this is blue. If X is blue, this is pink, so this is O. And maybe these two connect? Because this is... I think I have to use other things. We're going to be C and D. Because I don't want the X's and O's to get confused there. Can this be blue? Connecting to here? If so, this has to be a wall. Can this be pink? If so, this has to be a wall. Which means one of these two is a wall, so these two are definitely open. So this connects here, and this connects here. Which means whatever these are... Oh god. Whatever these are... This has to be a different thing. If these are blue, this has to be pink. If these are pink, this has to be... Wait, that means this has to be pink regardless, right? If blue comes into here, there has to be a wall here, so this has to be pink. And if this is pink, then pink. So we know that this has to be pink, so this has to be blue there. Cool. Good. Good and cool. If these are blue, this has to be pink. If these are pink, this has to be blue because the blue needs to go somewhere. So this is why. None of this helps. It's just messy. All of this is messy. I don't feel like it becomes a coherent whole. And that makes me unhappy. Because I want it to be coherent. I want it to make sense. It doesn't look like it's making sense at the moment. Alright, well, I can leave it with the connecting lines. Likewise here, connecting lines. And here, connecting lines. What does this tell me? Tells me this is the opposite. Actually, this is maybe the most helpful part, right? Here. Because if we have x, 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 and this is O, so now this O either connects here and has an x here, or connects here and has an x here. I guess that's not as helpful as I wanted it to be. But we do know that this is an O regardless, because of reasons that I definitely remember. Yeah, because if X is pink, this is blue. And if X is blue, then this pink has to go somewhere. So it's pink, pink. If X is pink, this is blue. Does this have to be blue? I think that might be illegal, actually. If this is pink, that connects. This has to be blue. Now, this cannot be blue, so this has to be pink. Ah, and the blue is sealed off. Okay. So this has to be blue. This doesn't necessarily need to come out here. But that does mean we have pink here. This we know now has to be pink. Whoa, boy. Oh, this had to be pink regardless of whatever was going on over here. Huh. This can be blue. It can also be pink? Yes. Yeah, either one is okay. If this is blue, then we have to have pink here, which is illegal. So this has to be pink. Which means this has to come out this way. Which means this has to be pink. Which means this has to connect. Oh. Whew. That was a struggle. Got there eventually, but that took a lot of work. Oh, I like this puzzle, though. I like the way that this came together. This is a good one. Yeah, this was a good one. This is a good one. All right, that's great. I'm so glad that that was handled in a way that is appropriate. And where the hell was that puzzle? Why am I all the way over here now? It's a satisfied face? Absolutely. I'm very satisfied with how that went. Is it break, Jim? It is actually done, Jim, unfortunately. I do have to end a little bit early here. And also I don't have time to complete another 7 like that. But yeah, this was satisfying. It's a little bit of a shame that I didn't get quite all the way through Spiral Island. That was my goal for today. We came up a little bit short. Puzzles are hard, as it turns out. So, for next time, more Spiral Island. Next time, Spiral Island will be completed. But that is going to have to be a next time thing, unfortunately. 560 solved. That's not a lot of progress. That's, I think we solved, like, maybe 10-ish puzzles today? Like, slow. I think I was at 547, actually. Maybe we solved 13 puzzles today? That feels like that could be real. Unclear. But plenty more to do in Artisan of Glimmith, so I am definitely going to be coming back for more of this in the future.